Obsidian Entertainment are probably the most entertaining game developer out there, because course they are. Get it? Course like Obsidian. Entertaining like entertainment. That was a terrible sermon opening. Let's just forget it and move on. Like I hope the Ash slaves forget about that one time I dressed up as Vivek for Halloween. It wasn't my idea. It was Nerevar's. He was going to be Sothasil, but he chickened out and went as Caius Kozades instead. Stole my skooma pipe, and all for the outfit, the fetcher. Anyway, as we heads towards the unlucky number 13th anniversary of everyone and their pet mudcrab's favorite Fallout game, New Vegas. In fact, the anniversary is already upon us. I pondered about how I'm kinda worried about Obsidian right now. I mean, how the hell are they going to find the time to develop a new Fallout game? The Inuas of excellence at Obsidian can't help themselves with all these intriguing projects they have on their plate. I'm not sure if that sentence was a backhanded compliment or the exact opposite, but back on topic, Obsidian have avowed the Outer Worlds 2 and probably Grounded 2, the grounding or pentiment 2, the Pentagon on their plate right now. How are they going to manage it all? I mean, they scaled back Avowed. Originally it was going to be their answer to Skyrim, but now it's their answer to Deus Ex Human Revolution or something. But like a fantasy version, with less augmentations and edgy protagonists who wear sunglasses at night and never shut up about how you should feel sorry for them. I mean, I'm hyped for Avowed. But who knows how that game will turn out with Obsidian juggling everything like Cicero performing a circus act for the Dark Brotherhood talent show. There's also the Outer Worlds 2 to deal with. I mean, it basically has to be Starfield mixed with New Vegas at this point. And I'd bet a solid 2 septims that that's the tagline for the game. Either that, or it'll be, it's like Pentiment with guns. Okay, maybe not that one. That game has to be a masterpiece. I mean, it has to be, or else Obsidian will go the way of CD Projekt Red after Cyberpunk, perhaps. Okay, maybe not that extreme. And then, what about the other IP that Obsidian have? Do they get neglected and put on the back burner for a decade or two like the Elder Scrolls franchise on Todd Howard's fanbase? Neglect-filled barbecue. I mean, that metaphor made more sense in my head. Just go with it. And what of the mythical New Vegas 2? Or Fallout New Orleans, as it should be called? We aren't going back to New Vegas unless the extremist fanboys really get their way. I guess someone else will develop a Fallout spin-off. Or Obsidian will release one in like fetching 2065 when all their old fan base is dying at that point. Better start the ghoulification process now if you want to live to see another Obsidian Fallout. I mean, it would be great to see them do an Elder Scrolls spin-off, perhaps a game, about a certain golden masked god that's more morally grey than the color palette of Skyrim. But back to the IP that Obsidian owns, Subrant. Could we get a follow-up to Alpha Protocol? That game came out the same year as New Vegas, funnily enough. And yet Fallout is still going strong. Okay, not that strong, considering. The only thing we have to look forward to in the near future, Fallout-wise, is microtransaction-filled Jersey Shore, the expansion pack. Sega still own the rights to the underrated AP franchise. So I guess Michael Thornberry, or whatever the main guy's name was, will show up in the next Sonic game, and that will be the extent of AP representation in the 2020s. Talk about bleak prospects. Then there's Grounded 2. I mean, that will have to be a thing, won't it? I mean, I've heard it's good, but fetching, come on, Obsidian put that on the back burner instead of Fallout. Tales of a Fourth Grade Noir. featuring his friends and giant bugs. The game doesn't need a sequel. I mean, I think they're teenagers in the game, but the joke title still stands. They're even making an animated show out of Grounded, which will probably beat the Fallout show to the punch at this stage. I mean, how did we get that before an Outer Worlds show, or even an Alpha Protocol show? The team behind the Clone Wars are making it, though, so I thoroughly expect it to be decent. I also believe that there's a 92% chance that Ahsoka will pop up and teach the groundlings, or whatever you want to call them, the ways of the survival crafting game. Okay, so I've really gone down this Obsidian speculation rabbit hole, and I'm kinda lost, but to wrap up, Obsidian need to get their Eswit together and make a Fallout game because I said so, and that's enough justification for them to do it. I'm a god, Fergus Urquhart. How can you deny a god his fanboy dreams? Rant over. Now I go back to my billionth playthrough of New Vegas. Gonna do a good Karma Caesar's Legion, run with a side of Yes Man and a bit of Mr. House for good measure. Trust me, it makes sense if you have mods. Okay, Dagoth Ur here, and I admittedly took a bit of skooma back there. For some reason I sound really British after I take some Balmora Blue. I sound a little like Uriel Septim VII every now and then, actually. The thing is, I have a little addendum to my rant about Obsidian. I've realized the truth. They're going all in on Pentiment. Like that's going to be Obsidian's flagship IP, trust me. We'll get Pentiment 2, the Pentagon, like I said, followed by Pentiment 3, the Penthouse Suite, then Pentiment 4, even the score, then Pentiment 5, the actual Pentagon, because it's 5, like the 5 sides of a pentagon. I mean, that sounded smarter in my head. Pentiment X, Grounded, The Bugs Go. Medieval will be the first spin-off game, and the first crossover game too. Then we'll get a Pentiment movie with Nicolas Cage in the lead. A TV show spin-off about Martin Luther and the Reformations, or some swit will follow. Pentiment characters will then show up in Fortnite. Besides that, a wave of media tackling German medieval history will begin. Interest in that era of history amongst the youths will skyrocket. Eventually, all of this will culminate in the epic multimedia crossover event called Pentiment. This time it's Pentsonal. Who are you to doubt a god? Pentiment is not a one-off indie darling, trust me. Microsoft are in the AAA Juggernaut franchise business. They don't make one-offs. Anyway, I'm gonna go study some Grounded lore, prepare myself for the upcoming show.